All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this 2025 BaseCamp Winter Group Coaching Program Overview presentation. We're going to start out, we're going to introduce ourselves. We are the head coaches here at BaseCamp. My name is Tim Cusick. I'm the founder and head coach here at BaseCamp. I've been coaching for just about 20 years. I have to officially look if it's going to be over 20 years now. I've had the luxury of working with some amazing athletes, guiding them to numerous national and world titles and to the Olympics. So I've been coaching for a while. I've been around. My partner here, Dr. Namrita Brooke, I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Yes. Hey, everyone. I'm Namrita Brooke. I am one of the head coaches here at BaseCamp also. I joined a year or two ago, I guess, as Tim's associate head coach. I'm also the nutrition program leader. So I kind of do both here in our program, but it's cool because nutrition and the training work so well together. And it's really, we'll probably use this term again, but it's very transformative. I have been coaching for just over 15 years. I work with athletes of all levels. I do cycling coaching and, of course, nutrition, for athletes of all levels. And yeah, it's just, this is such a special, unique program. And I think, do a really great job with our whole entire team. So excited to have you guys here tonight.
All right, let's jump in. I'm going to take you through most of the presentation so you're not jumping back and forth between the two of us, but we're both going to answer your questions because we both have different specialties. The best thing you can do to get the most out of tonight's presentation is don't be shy about asking your questions. Ask them as you go, because we actually have a little screen over here that's calculating them. We can see both Namrita and I can see all the questions. Sometimes we'll stop and answer them because it's really timely. Sometimes we'll save them till a little later. If you ask questions, we'll explain things better. I have this presentation for everybody tonight. It has a lot of words in it because it's meant to be emailed to you and to people. I'm just going to talk to it. All right, let's kick off. Even though you've just met Namrita and I, and we're two of the four program leaders, we do have two other program leaders that are not presenting with us tonight. Menachem Brody is our strength leader. Menachem is a best-selling author, Israel national coach, and he's a USAC level 1 coach. And Kerry Jackson is our mental performance leader, another best-selling author, amazing sports psychologist, just brilliant and awesome at what she does. This is your total leadership team that will be taking you through the program. Let's start off then a little bit about what is BaseCamp. Staying away from like this overarching description, basically it is a 16-week group training plan or group training program meant to really enhance your base fitness, improve your knowledge, capability, capacity to be a training athlete, improve your nutrition, improve your mental performance, build strength, do all of that stuff well. Again, I'm not going to read all the words. You can read that later. Key takeaway, training program, group training, 16 weeks, and it has a bunch of different elements, training, nutrition, strength, mental performance. You're already starting to hear all of that. Let's more talk about why join BaseCamp, because through the why messaging, I can tell you what more easily. First off, I love to say this, right? We have expert coaches. We have the best coaches out there in the world. Why hire one coach when you can hire them all? And this is when people get engaged in BaseCamp, and we have some alumni in the group here, they can confirm this. It amazes new athletes who join our program how much interaction you have with coaches, because basically you can talk to the coaching team at any time. You can interact with them. And you don't just get one responding. You can have multiple opinions and definitely an array. You can see up here we have the four of the leaders, but we also have a full support coaching staff. And we're all going to not only lead you through the program, coach you, we're going to train alongside of you so that we're actually going through the same experiences, the same workouts. And that allows us to really share in the community side of what we're doing. The program is a holistic approach. And to me, this is the key. I've been coaching for a long time. at a very high level. And I can tell you the secret to well-performing athletes is you have to look at the whole picture. You can't just take one element and really hope to achieve all your goals. Obviously, at the core, we have a really great training program, a system, a 16-week on the bike training plan that really drives you through the performance. That is supported by Namrita and her excellent nutrition plan. These are meant to work hand in hand to get the best performance out of you. At the same time, you have Menachem and his excellent strength plan, building strength and endurance, working and interacting with your training plan and linked to your nutrition, so you're getting the best of that. And then Carrie's doing the mental performance, helping you bring all that to bear in events, in your goals, in your events. That really is at the core of the program. Now, how does it flow? How does it work? Why does all this work together? Well, it starts with a well-structured training plan. I design all the training plans for you. They are customized to you. They're not fully one-on-one programs. They're 16 weeks long. I'm going to explain how they're customized to you. But really, they're strong plans built on excellent principles of base training with a little bit of push towards your specialty in the last 4 to 6 weeks. The reality is, when we think about base training as a whole, we have a reasonably common set of performance expectations between the fundamental physiology that we need to build, the fitness and conditioning we need to build, and the performance aspects. As we start moving off into the spring, that specializes, that becomes more specific to what are you doing, what are your goals, what types of events, things like that. That's why we only run this program for the winter, or the 16, depends where you live in the world, right? But the 16 weeks over our North American winter, because it allows us to work really as a full community, train together, perform together. Supporting that is an excellent individualized nutrition program. Namrita runs the nutrition. She designs it. We deliver nutrition through an app called Hexus. Namrita designs your targeting. Our targeting is really all based on a 3-step or a pyramid approach. At the bottom level is we're looking for energy balance. At the next step, we're looking for good macro targets, the amount of grams of fats and carbs and protein you're eating. And then, really at the top of the peak is timing that well and getting that, taking in those macronutrients, taking in those calories at the right time. Hexus is a totally individualized program. Namrita designs the program. I'll actually go into this a little deeper, but it actually reads your training in advance and what you're doing, and it adjusts to your training. So it knows if you're doing a big day the next day and the day after that, or if you're doing something lighter, and it's constantly individualizing to you based off your actual training. Now, our program doesn't recognize a specific diet. So we're not going to give you, here's what you eat for breakfast, here's what you eat dinner. You can eat the foods that you're eating now, or whatever diet programming you are now. What we are going to give you is calorie guidelines, macronutrient guidelines, and timing guidelines, how to time that food best with your workouts. And of course, we do extras like pre-event, event fueling, all that learning and stuff like that. We have cycling specific strength programs. If anybody's ever read any of Menachem's best-selling books, he specializes in strength training for cyclists. That's absolutely his specialty. So your programs, again, they're aligned. Menachem and I work on the programs together, because as I'm writing training, he's writing the strength, matching along with the progression of our training we're going. So you really have a fully integrated program, the 3 core elements here: training plan, nutrition, strength, really maximizing your performance, maximizing the amount of work you can do. And more importantly, and something that most people miss, how much of that work you can adapt to, and how well do you adapt to it. If you're under fueling or not doing enough norm or strength work, you're not maximizing. You're doing a lot of work, but you're not getting the maximized gain. By integrating those 3, we get the maximum gain. And then finally, Carrie Jackson is on board, and she's going to teach us mental performance. And it's awesome. It's great. It's so many people really benefit from this, the mental performance side of things. Because maybe, you train well and you get fit, but maybe you struggle in events. Maybe you get nervous and anxious. Maybe you don't, maybe you're not always mentally as tough as you should be. Carrie guides all the great strength and fitness and nutrition that Namrita, Menachem, and I are building into performance and make sure you get the whole package. Super important part of things. Next, coach interaction. I mentioned this earlier. We have a vibrant community of interaction. We have multiple channels the way you can interact with the program. Right up front, the main group that we do is we use a Facebook group. And we always get questions about that up front. We have a very vibrant Facebook group. And I know it's like, look, Facebook isn't always my favorite thing in the world, but the reality is it works really, really well. Because our coaching team, me, Namrita, Menachem, and Carrie, and then all of our support coaches, we're always in there. So if you post a question or if you have something, you could throw it in there as a question, bam, you'd be shocked how fast it gets answered. In the one-on-one model, it's not always that fast, or you can't get your questions, or maybe you don't have a meeting for another week or two or whatever it is. Here, you can interact immediately. You could submit by email. We have a program, a subscription, like a behind the firewall, you want to call it, Coach's Corner, that has all the answers. We capture all of the important posts and email them to you every Friday. So if you're not a Facebooker, you still get all of that. And we have other ways that you can ask your questions and interact, read what's going on, keep up with all the learning. But I'm telling you, unless if you're in that Facebook group, you're gonna enjoy it. It's actually surprisingly cool. Next, community support. You don't train alone. And to me, this is probably one of the keys to our success. It's tough to jump on the trainer or go outside in the cold weather and just be training alone at all given times. The community support to me is so crucial here, and it's something we set out to build early. We wanted an environment where the newest of riders to the most experienced of riders can ride together and just support each other and learn and grow and train. We have numerous online training. We have public workouts and club workouts. And as a matter of fact, I can jump to here and we're talking about this fact. So our community doesn't only just chat and have fun and whatever. We're training together pretty much every day of the week. We have public Swift rides Tuesdays, Thursdays. Right now they're scheduled at 7, 10, 5:45, 9. We sometimes tweak those times a little each year because we find out when you can ride, the people that attend, and we tweak times to make it work. We also have what's known as club rides. And these club rides, we schedule anywhere from 6 to 15 of them a week. It just depends who's training when. And a lot of times athletes just schedule their own. Now, these do happen on Swift and we do communicate, we have fun. But one thing to just be crystal clear on, every one of our BaseCamp rides, Swift or our BaseCamp club rides, are coached rides. Namrita coaches the 5:45. I coach the 10 a.m. Jill coaches the 9. Jill Gass coaches the 9. And Paul Jobin and Jim Pomeroy lead the 7. And we have guests and other people and support coaches and people we work with on there. The public rides all have 2 coaches. So not only are you just riding with us and having fun and chatting with the group, we're teaching. Every ride is a learning experience, is a coachable hour, and we're in there coaching. Same with club rides. Now, the club rides tend to be a little more light because that's just our club members and we're in there having fun. They're different coaches. Our support coaches lead a lot of the club rides. And it's just, you're still learning. You can ask your questions, you can interact with your coach, but we also have some fun in there. And there's a lot of times what happens in the club ride stays in the club ride. So you're going to have to join one seat. We do those on Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. So we tend to do the larger public rides on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and every other day we have club rides. And also our people themselves host club rides. What we do, if we have people that are alumni, riders that are alumni, and they want to host club rides, they go through a short training with us, and then they can host club rides on our system. So you can just meet up with people and get to know, as long as, you can have the basics of launching a ride, making it work, and it's fun. So you can join all these different levels and just engage with the community. We have competitive fun challenges. So every couple of weeks, we execute a challenge, a time trial, a hill climb, an omnium. So they're not all, it's a little mix of things, group ride, like even metric centric group rides. And these challenges, they're really the place where we bring your fitness and conditioning into performance. So it's not just, hey, we're going to get together and we're going to have a fun little race. That week, we're working on, like I'd say, it's time trial week, right? We're working on pacing, we're working on control, we're working on, targeting and all the things that make you physically a good time trialist. Carrie is giving tips on your mental prep, how you should approach it, where your brain should be, what's going on in that noggin as you're suffering, and all those things. Namrita is giving you advice on your pre-fueling, your event day fueling, what to eat, drink, and how to do. So you're learning through these online interactive challenges where we do them. We race them right along with you, and we're coaching you through it. You're learning through this indoor, challenge. We have you can go execute it outdoors, but to be in the group, you have to be indoors because we're all meeting on Zwift from all over the world. You're learning to take your performance into your events. You're learning all the tricks from some of the best coaches in the world, teaching you how to prepare for that time trial, how to prepare for that hill climb, how to prepare for that gravel race, how to prepare for that omnium, all the different things that we do. Then we have prize packages. You get 5 prize packages each challenge. Everybody who completes the challenge is entered into the drawing. And if you win, we send you a whole bunch of cool stuff. We also then finally have, not finally, it's more, but we also have exclusive learning content. One of the things that I firmly believe in, a well-educated athlete, a knowledgeable athlete trains better, performs better, understands the why and what's going on. So beyond all the great learning and the interaction and riding with your coaches and all these group rides and everything else, we also have exclusive learning content. We're constantly sharing a stream of things. Some we call toolboxes. These are little tips about building something or improving your, like the one we're seeing here on the screen, neuromuscular manipulation and cadence goals. Why do we need cadence goals? How can you maybe identify some weaknesses in you and what you can do about it? Namrita, we do Nerdcast, which is our science. So here you see an example from Namrita. We get this question all the time. What supplements work? Should I take the? So we have these Nerdcasts, these learning elements on these different things that just help you build to be an athlete. They're all recorded. They're all video. They're all housed in our locker room, we call it, our private coach's corner. So you can watch them when you have questions. We post them new as we produce them throughout the 16 weeks. You can watch them as you go. You can go back into the library and pick out the ones you want. It's a content service that's always there for you. Now, let's talk a little bit, go back to this holistic approach. One of the things that really makes this all different and where it's so exciting in our community programs, and it's like, I'm always so energized to do it because I really enjoy the winters. We've been able to integrate these. And what I mean by integrate is everything will flow through your Training Peaks account and your Structured Training Peaks account. While you're in the program, you get a complimentary premium Training Peaks account through BaseCamp and Training Peaks, who is a partner of ours. Your nutrition program reads your workouts and is constantly individualizing your nutrition to you based on Namrita's guidelines and how she sets up the program. But then it's reading. So if you change workouts a week from today, or you need to take a week off or something like that, you can take those workouts out. Your nutrition plan adapts. It adjusts to it. It stays individualized to the work you're doing. And it's already individual. And it's also set to your goals. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to maintain? Do you want to gain? How much of each? What are you doing? It also adjusts to your goals. Same with the new strength programs through the Strength Builder. I was a beta tester in the new Training Peaks Strength Builder. I use it all the time now. I'm a huge fan. How much easier it makes time in the gym, executing through these workouts. Menachem's programs are unbelievable. So you take your app into the gym, you just kind of tap down, you go through each one of your little exercises. When you're done, that feeds right back to your Training Peaks. You have color compliance now with strength, and it's really letting you and us see the whole picture of how you're training. all of this content actually flows through your Training Peaks account too. You'll see links to Coach's Corner and ways to find. We do workout previews every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, where we're helping you prepare for some of the tougher workouts or the more dynamic workouts. And then we actually do workout reviews. These are all linked into your training plan. So if you want to preview a workout, and that's myself, Namrita, and Tina, Coach Tina, we do all the previews and reviews. You can see them, you can go check them out, and it really just gives you great access for there. Then, of course, any events we're doing, like we're doing challenges, stuff like that, that's also all feeding through here. So you really have this one integrated system. We are using Hexus as the one outside service, but that's because it's a Training Peaks partner and it interacts through there. That means basically you can track the entire program through your phone, talk to coach, do all the things that we're talking about in a very simplified way. 5 years ago, we weren't able to integrate this much in BaseCamp. That's been part of the evolving technology and our ability to embrace it and be ahead of it. A little more, and then we're going to get into open Q&A, and I see some open Q&A. What do I get? How does it work? Let's talk about how does it work. So when you sign up and then the program kicks off, which it kind of kicks off in about mid-November, I think it's November 10th this year. Don't hold me to the date. I'm horrible with calendars. You get a training survey from us, which is going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. What are your goals? Tell us about your training history. What are your upcoming key events? What are your training hours? What days, how many days a week? What are you doing? It really gathers your forward-looking vision and your training history in one place. That submits. We then customize plans for you. This is coach selected. We have our whole coach team work on this. It's customized to your answers and this and that. It's targeted towards your goal, your event types. What are you doing? Gravel versus road versus mountain or whatever you're doing. It also takes into account your history. Are you more, is this maybe your first year of training, or have you been training seriously for 10 years? It has a range of execution, like the plan is different based on that experience. The plans are different based on that experience. Once we get all that information, we select a plan, you join the online group, you enter into the Coach's Corner, you start getting all the communications, the new newsletters, podcasts, articles, and learning content, everything we're just talking about. Then you start training together. You join your first group workout when you're new. That's always a little intimidating. Like, did I find it? Did I get in there? I don't know. Zwift is becoming so well known. All these online programs are. It's not that intimidating anymore. You suddenly realize, wow, these coaches are truly training along with us. We coach you through that first couple of workouts. Then you're hooked. Then you're getting to your training every day. You're more motivated, everything like that. Then maybe you join up in a meetup, or maybe you jump in. We do online sessions all the time. We have happy hours where we just get together. Like, it's funny, we do one of our virtual challenges and then we get together online and we drink beer and talk about bikes, because what's better to do than after a day of riding a bike? Drink beer and talk about bikes. And then you can even keep learning, just using the content resource and everything like that. Again, all driven to just improve you as an athlete, help you learn and grow. And you don't have to do the learning. It's funny. I always say it like this. It's like a buffet. You go up and you eat what you want to eat. And you can eat the whole buffet if you want. That ain't going to be easy, because this is a tremendous array of information in all these different areas. But that's up to you. Or you could just go up and have one thing if you want. Again, that's up to you. We set the buffet and we want to make it something amazing for you, so that if you're looking for it, you have questions of us, it's there. If you don't see it in the buffet, or even if you just have, you can always ask us your questions directly and you will get good answers, and in-depth answers. And if it's a really good question, we make a toolbox or a nerdcast or an online course out of it. So always feel free to ask. So let's give some bullet points here, and then I'm going to take Q&A. It is a 16-week program. It starts December 2nd and runs 16 weeks from there, which is March 17th, I think, is the last day. It's broken down into four-week cycles. This year, because of the oddity, there's a little bit of a tighter gap between Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays, which always throw off because travel schedule and stuff like that. We have a 3-5-4 cycle format because it just fit better in there, not creating holiday pressure for people. As you already know, in that 16-week program, you get strength, nutrition, you get training, strength, nutrition, and the mental performance elements. You get the full community support. You get everything in there. The price for the program is $549. That's one-time payment. It's not ongoing subscription. You can break it down into 4 payments when you buy it. So you could, if you want to pay it over 4 payments, that's up to you. But that's the one-time cost for the program. There's, you know, no subscription fees. You're not locked in forever. It doesn't evergreen and keep charging you. It's just a one-time charge, because I hate that, by the way. Now, in that 16-week program, if you need to take a week off here or a week off there, and that's pretty common, I would say 5% of our people, maybe 10% of the people have to go through that. We give guidance on how to do that. And here's a great point of the difference. How can we afford to give you, such a high level coaching and expertise at $549? We don't do the admin work. And it's really important here that everybody grasps this, because this is the point, where you can understand what we're doing. Let's say you say, I need a week off in January because I'm going to visit family, and you're not sure what to do. So you post it in Facebook or email us. We're going to write you back, or we're going to post in Facebook. It's always better to do it in Facebook, because everyone else will read and learn along with you. Here's the way you should juggle your schedule. So maybe Namrita replies and she says, do a couple extra days before, move that workout here, and then take that time off, then do an extra day or two coming back. And here's how you should schedule it. She gives you the answer, or I give you the answer, or one of our other coaches, but you have to go into your Training Peaks count and move stuff, because that's the difference. When it comes down to really doing all of that admin work, that's what makes it really hard to deliver programs. So the idea is, we're going to give you the expertise and the answer. You have to do your own admin. You have to adjust things that way. We're not going to move those workouts around in the count. You are. We'll tell you where to put them. We'll give you the advice. And it's not always like, put that on Tuesday, put that on Thursday. You might get, hey, based on your travel and how much stress, you want to make that Tuesday or Wednesday, but we'll give you good overall guidance of what to do with it. If your vacation is extended, like let's say you need 3-4 weeks, or let's say you get injured, we can restart. We'll give you the guidance on restarting plans, or how to, sometimes you can jump back in if it's early enough or hasn't been too long. Sometimes you need to restart cycles and go through that. We also give you that guidance when it's something like a total restart because you've been injured, or for an extended period of time. Let's call that more than 2 to 3 weeks. We'll help do that for you. That's the type of admin we will support. That was a lot. I got that out in 27 minutes, though. That's like a record. All right, Namrita, you ready to do questions with me?
Let's do it. I see a lot of them, a lot of good ones.
All right, why don't you tackle the first one, read it so it gets recorded, and we'll go on from there.
Yep. So Gregory asks, what happens if you are unavailable for a couple of weeks of the 16 weeks? There's a possibility that I may be out of the country for a couple of weeks in February. Tim sort of just answered this actually. But yeah, so this is going to happen to everybody. And let's go back to, we want to empower you with knowledge. And part of knowledge, whether you are going to go into one-on-one coaching after this, with which a lot of you do, or you want to continue and self-coach yourself, we're going to teach you how to make those adjustments and why. Obviously, we want you to complete the program as closely as you can, so you get the intended results of the program. There's some, there's a rhyme and reason that we put workouts, in the progression that we do, in the rhythm that we do. And so we will teach you all those things. And when it comes time to, deal with life, because it's always going to happen, to some degree for all of you, it's rare that someone's going to hit every single workout exactly, in market green every week of the 16 weeks. So we'll teach you how to do that. We will give you the best advice we can. Tim and I might have a slightly different answer, but you can take, both and say, okay, this is a great solution for me. Drag and drop with your premium Training Peaks account, and you're off and rolling.
Yeah. And I will add too, we also give guidance of alternative things you can do. And I've already written 2 new toolboxes for next year of like, what do I do when I'm in a hotel for a week? Like, how can I maintain as much fitness as I can and get those things done? So we are there to support you. Why don't you take the next one, because it's more in your ballpark.
Sure. Paul asks, how does the nutrition program match up with a Mediterranean diet? Right. So using the Hexas program, you choose your foods. There is several food databases internationally, so US, Canada, the European food database. There are many different choices. The Mediterranean diet will absolutely have all the foods in there for you. And so we are basically setting through Hexas your total daily energy needs or your calorie needs to support your training that day. How they're broken down with macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and finally the timing of that. As far as what you eat, that's completely your choice. Hexas also does have built-in recipe guides, and I have a recipe book as well, where you're going to find a lot of those plant-based foods, a lot of the Mediterranean type options. But yeah, it really supports any diet.
Yeah, it's pretty robust. Um, okay, how about I tackle the next two? So Eric asks, are these components included in BaseCamp price? That's a good question. I should have said that. Um, Hexas, you get a free trial. So if you want to stay in the nutrition program, then it does have a price. We're not exactly sure what it's going to be because it depends how many people join up, but it's about $14, $15 a month. Now, you can also manually do your nutrition. We do supply you with guidelines, macros, this and that. If you don't want to do that, you could execute your nutrition the same type of system manually. We give you a spreadsheet and guides. You can download them and utilize them through your Training Peaks account. But I would absolutely highly recommend everybody try the Hexas thing because you got to make nutrition easy if you want to make it work. There is no other charge. Your Training Peaks Premium is account, strength program, everything else is in there. The reason we charge for Hexas, I want to be very transparent about this for those who know me. It's just my simple approach. Probably about 40% to 50% of the people will use the nutrition program and the other half won't. What I don't like doing, I want to keep this very affordable. And that's what allows us to be inclusive because you can afford to get this level of coaching, is why charge the other half for a product they might not use? So if you're using it and you give it the trial and you're like, wow, this is great. Namrita's guidance is amazing. This makes it so easy to follow. I can match my food to my workouts. It's $14. You just pay through Hexa. It's pretty straight and easy. And if not, not. Hopefully that answered. I'll take Greg's. Are all rides done on Zwift? No options for Rovi. We do all rides on Zwift, but understand your Training Peaks account is all written and structured. If you wanted to use Rovi or Trainer Road or any just your Garmin head unit, you can take your workouts into any program you want. But we do our group rides on Zwift because it's the most robust group ride program out there. It allows us to ride together. It allows us to execute the same workout on select days and different workouts on other, but still stay together. It allows us to talk, to chat, to trash talk, which I do frequently to Namrita. So be prepared. And have some fun. So we do all that in Zwift. If you're attached to Rovi and you want to do your training on Rovi or through your Garmin head unit or through Trainer Road or whatever program you're doing, once you link it to your Training Peaks and this program, it's all automated. You just load the workout that day and execute. All right, why don't you take the next one, Namrita?
Yeah, I do want to go back to Eric's question about all the components being included in the price and going back to Hexas. So while Hexas is free for a couple weeks, and then, if you want to use that service specifically, that's a small additional monthly charge. However, nutrition is included in the whole program. So there's no shortage of educational content. And like I said, because I also am one of the coaches, I am able to tightly integrate the nutrition education with my training articles. I have separate nutrition blog posts and articles. And if you ask a question in the community on a coach panel or in the Facebook group about nutrition or supplements or whatever, I will answer it for you. So it is absolutely part of the program and the price. It's just that small Hexas piece, which is a tool that can help make it easier for you to implement all the knowledge that you're getting in the program. That's that piece that's additional that everyone might not use. But if you're smart, you're going to use the knowledge and the content in the program itself that you're paying for.
Yeah, great point. I should have made that much clearer. I'm just talking about the software.
Hmm.
You learn all about the nutrition, all the sport, everything else, all the targeting. It's just the software makes it easy.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
and just like with anything else, our coaches are on like basically 24/7 through the 16 weeks to answer your questions, including nutrition, strength, and mental performance.
so let's rapid fire these next couple. I'm just
Yep.
going to tackle them quick. So Paul asks, what is the weekly training volume in hours? I understand that's probably a progression as the program unfolds. Paul, it depends on your life. We customize it to you. So if you have 6 hours to train, I would call that, if you have 6 to 7 hours to train, we call that 6 to 8. If you're maybe closer to 10, we have 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16, and 16 plus. So it really depends on you. We customize it to you based on your survey answers. There is progression within that plan. So I'm kind of giving you a 2 hour range. It starts a little lower, progresses, maybe pushes the hours a little bit in that last cycle, but it really is about what kind of hours you have to train. So customized to you. David asks, what kind of equipment is needed in the strength training? Do I need to join a gym? You do not need to join a gym. We have multiple versions. You can have your strength program at home where we just use bands and a kettlebell or a dumbbell, but it's very low equipment investment for the at home. And we also can be done in the gym. So we have that each year where some people are doing at home, some people are doing gym. There's multiple strength programs. Again, a beginner program and an advanced program, and bands and kettlebells and weights, and it's not customized to you because the strength plan is very rigid and progressive, but the one you select is for you. Michael asks, how do group workouts deal with people with varying abilities? It doesn't matter on Zwift. All the workouts are individualized to you and your FTP. So when we ride on Zwift, my FTP might be 450 watts, and maybe Namrita's is 150 watts. See, that's trash talk. Then we still stay together. Whether we could still be doing tempo and mine might be higher, but the Zwift program and why we use this sets us to stay together. So you're doing your individual effort. I'm doing my individual effort. We're rolling down the road as a group so we can chat, have fun, and trash talk. All right. Namrita, you're up for Eric's. That was my 3. You have rapid fire 3. Go.
Can you provide an example of how the strength component is structured into a training week? So we like to leave rest days as complete rest days. There might be some light, mobility. You can go for a walk and things like that. But the strength training days are typically done on the harder training days, like Tuesday and Thursday, I believe. Is that still true, Tim? You probably should take the strength questions.
Yeah, I'm writing. Manaka and I have been going back and forth all day because I'm writing training plans. He's writing strength plans. That's exactly right.
Do we have to buy the Training Peak software? It is included. The premium subscription is included during the 16 weeks. If you want to continue using premium after that, then that charge is something that you'll have to take care of once the program is over. Michael asks, you earlier mentioned a possible small cost for the Hexus app. If so, how much is it and when will it be assessed? So everyone will get it. We'll start rolling Hexus out in the second week of the program, and everyone will have a 2-week free trial for anyone who does want to continue using it. Hexus actually just updated their pricing, so I need to go back and look at it, but you're looking at around $15 a month or so, give or take a couple dollars. And that would be monthly.
There's another question in chat. I'm going to answer it right now because it'll be timely. The reason we don't start the nutrition program until week 2 is because we're onboarding in week 1. For those of you new, the question in chat was, is there support in getting this up and started? Absolutely. We do multiple live support desks. Well, first off, you get a series of what we call onboarding emails for new users that walk you through setting up each step, one step at a time. So you get a couple of those the week before we start. And then the first week you get ongoing setup and support emails. Then we know that sometimes that also gets confusing. We run numerous live help desks where you just jump on a help desk, talk to me or Namrita or some of the other team, say, I can't figure out how to link my Training Peaks or something like that, or get a Zwift workout loaded. We'll walk you through it and get you there. So we have a really robust system for onboarding people. Usually by week 2, we've got everybody up running fine. Week 1, it's not that you're not running fine, but you might be a little nervous about that first Swift workout, or how do I link something, or there. We'll be there to help you through week 1 if there's any problems. It usually gets settled week 2, so we start moving into things like nutrition. Why don't you take Elizabeth's question?
Elizabeth asks, I won't be able to start the program until December 14th. Is it possible to start the program late? Yes, of course. So when you get your plan loaded, I would say as soon as you get the email to choose your plan, get it applied into your account, you can see what's coming up, and maybe you can start a little bit early. To be honest, though, the first cycle is, especially if you have a good base level of fitness, you've been, training for a while, it's not that big of a deal, and you can probably just jump right in if you're coming in with a little bit of fitness. But yeah, you absolutely can start late if you need to.
Okay. Ken asks, when can I do my cross country skate skiing? We'll give guidance on that in the program. Answering it now would be a long series of back and forth questions, but we'll give you guidance on which workouts to switch out and how to implement that strategy. I'll take the next one. What range of weekly hours? I used to know a Michael Angel. I wonder if it's the same person. What range of weekly hours do you recommend for the best bang for time? Recommended CTL ranges to start training camp. For most of us, it depends. That's a it depends question. It depends what your training history and everything else is. There's a sweet spot though for this type of base training. I would honestly say that sweet spot is 12 to 14 hours. But the challenge with that sweet spot is most of us don't have 12 to 14 hours. So 10 to 12 tends to be where a bulk of our people are by reality. That sweet spot really depends on your training history. It's your sweet spot. Why don't I tackle this next one, and then you can do Michael's. I have a lot of data in WKO5. Do you use that for history? You use that. You could use it in answering your questions. We're looking for your general training hours. How much training have you done? What's been that background in training? So you likely know it more off the top of your head. But we're not doing we're not going to go back and load everybody's data into WKO5. Remember, you're the admin function here. We obviously, as the product leader and developer here of WKO4 and 5, we do a lot of education. We go down that path a fair amount, talk about it. We will give you insights into individualizing your training through eye levels and things like that, but then you do that work.
Okay, Michael asks, I didn't catch all your comments regarding choosing foods and liquids to meet daily energy needs. Can Namrita do a nerdcast on food choice suggestions or something like that? Absolutely. So I guess that's what I'm saying about the education part of the nutrition program. There's multiple avenues for delivery here. And I think, Michael, that's a great idea to do a video nerdcast with a couple of maybe blog posts that go along with that for how do you actually make nutrition decisions and eating decisions, because we're all here to get better performance wise too, but also for health reasons. And so I know there's a lot of questions out there, and that'll absolutely be part of the program.
Yeah, nutrition never stops, everybody. Funny thing is, because you start to compartmentalize, oh, we're doing a lesson on this. We're always talking that stuff. It's a daily dialogue of learning and stuff like you have a question, like, should I eat this? Or try not to do this too much because it does get hard to keep up with it. But you ask your questions and we'll answer them. We're in there with you full time. Mm-hmm. All right. I'll take the next one. I've heard there's new FTP tests that we'll use. Can you comment on this? No. There is, and it's probably a better way. Join up and come see what it is. I'm not sharing it yet. It's a little system and modeling that I built to simplify process.
You want me to take this one?
Yeah, your next one. I'll do Margaret. Sorry.
All right. Jennifer asks, what if I do some group rides outside on weekends where I'm not able to follow a structured workout? Will the training plan adjust? What a great question. We absolutely support you riding outside, riding with friends. This is supposed to be fun and community-based through the winter. We will give you some guidelines on how to choose your groups or group rides. Maybe they're really fast and really hard and slightly harder than the training plan. Maybe they're slower and not enough training stimulus. So we'll give you some guidance on that. But we absolutely support doing the group rides. And ideally, we want you to be able to fit it closely to the planned ride for the weekend, even if it's not a structured ride. But all of that comes out in the coaching discussion. But yeah, we totally support you riding outside with your friends in the winter.
Yeah, people get locked in their head. It's all indoors. Not at all. If you can get, and it depends on your weather and lifestyle, but if you can get a little bit indoors and a little bit outdoors, that's the best way to do it. It really is. Margaret asks, if I already have a premium Training Peaks account, do I need to cancel it before the series starts? They won't let you. Margaret, I already know the answer, and we can't take it over until yours expires. But as soon as yours expires, we take it over. You don't even need to tell us. We get a notification and we'll pick it up when that happens. I'll tackle the next one since it's strength. Eric, you're reaching your question limit. You're going to have to email them to me after this. Strength continued. So hard riding day and strength would occur in the same day, ride morning, strength in afternoon. Sort of, but yes, keep your hard days hard, your easy days easy, right? It's important that you do that. And it's the best way to build strength and fitness all together, which means conditioning, by the way. And the reality is, though, it's progressive. It builds up to a point where you'll be able to do that and manage it just fine. We have some ways where we talk about which to do first, and we have education, and we'll answer those questions a lot, and we have guidance on that. And that really then ends up being what fits into your lifestyle and work day or whatever you're doing. So you'll get that question answered.
Okay, can you speak to what kind of experience or skill one needs to have to benefit, or what kind of goals most folks have? I'm not sure if I'm considered a serious enough athlete. I've worked with a triathlon coach and so have done structured training, but I don't consider myself good at any of this. I'm interested in becoming a better climber in particular. I really love this question, Kim. It's so interesting to see the different perceptions of how people think they might fit or might not fit in this program. And literally, this program is for everybody. We have people who just started riding. We have people who have raced, pro elite for a long time, and they come back because the training and the education is so good. I will say that if you feel like you're somewhere in between or maybe on the more newer end, there's no better way to get started with training and all of this. The learning curve is just, so much easier you're going to get so much better and so much faster and so much more knowledgeable doing it with this program versus trying to piece all of this together on your own. I really highly encourage you to give it a chance, or anyone listening who is not sure if this program is for them. Literally, like Tim and I promise you, it is for you. And you'll see why. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll see why once you get in. You will find your people who are just like you.
Correct. And it's unfortunate. You wrote something in your sentence we hear all the time, and we fix this. But I don't consider myself good at any of this. You are good at this. And so many people are willing to write that because they haven't found a program to help you see it, feel it, learn how to improve it, and build that confidence into things like you. It's a program. Give it a shot. You will not regret it. All right. Tony Powell, is a smart trainer needed to use Zwift? No, you can do it with a dumb trainer. Just you have to put in your trainer type and it can elicit. You do need a speed sensor. I'll take the next one real quick because I've been working independently with a trainer on a strength program. Can I continue while participating in BaseCamp? Absolutely. Like if you're working in the gym with somebody, there's no better coaching than that. So somebody who can absorb form and movement. Keep doing that. That's great. You just layer it in. We'll give you some guidance on which days are probably best to schedule it. And then that's totally on you. All right, you're up next.
Okay, is FTP testing built into the plan? It definitely is, Jennifer. FTP testing is multi-purpose, I guess. One, we need to make sure that you are training in the right ranges or the right zones to get the intended benefit and adaptations from the program so you can progress as intended. The other reason is FTP testing is great for having you practice performance. And so whether you're racing or not, when we go back to like what Carrie Jackson is helping to teach on the mental performance side, there's definitely like it's a part of training. And so we just approach it as that. It's no big deal. It's just something that we all do together and you will get better at it. If you don't like it, don't worry.
Testing is training and training is
Hmm.
testing. It gives us an excellent opportunity to learn how to perform better, and we take it. All right, final question, and then I'll read through the chat a little just to make sure we didn't miss, because I know a lot of people post in chat. Can you post a prior 1 week workout program to see what 1 week looks like? We don't post pre-workouts. We understand you might be skeptical. That's up to you. You have some of the, you know, you have some leading experts here. We have a pretty good program. It's what we do. So join up and you can see the first week. That would be great. We just don't share this kind of stuff out there on the internet because our program is so unique and people like to try to figure out how to copy things. Okay, I think we got the questions. I'm just going to scroll through chat here one time. So Tim Lynch says, do you have sessions to assist set up bike with Zwift and stuff? Yes, absolutely. It's a support step getting set up on Zwift, and you'll get an email and a full support section on it in our locker room. Is there a plan I can start now until December 2nd? If you sign up before, I forget the date. Oh my gosh, I should know. I think it's October 14th. You'll get a free 4 week transition plan and preparing. You don't want to be doing a ton of stuff before, but you also don't want to be doing nothing. Having some work that's more anatomical adaptation and building up to the point where you can jump into kind of a base training program, that would be great. You're doing an ultra race. How do you choose a high volume plan? There's high volume plans, pick one. So you're asking, you're doing an ultra event. You want to make sure you can have enough training time. Yes, pick a high volume plan. Trevor, here's the question I was looking for. I've already paid and joined the winter base camp. Approximately when will the emails be sent for initial details regarding training? You actually start getting emails about the middle of October. The early November, we start asking you questions. The survey, I think, comes out the first week of November. We should have Debbie on who runs all our admin because I know I'm supposed to know, but I never do. So the first week in November is when you get your survey, and then all that stuff comes through, everything else. So that's when it kicks off. You'll get an informational email or two in between there. And if you have signed up and paid for the program, you'll be able to get the 4 week transition plan, which starts November 1st, whatever, the first Monday of November. And that program has some strength guidance, some preparation for strength. It also has some structured work and some unstructured work and some other movement and, some nutritional advice and things like that to help you prepare. I think we got them all, Namrita.
Awesome. Great questions. Thank you guys so much for attending and asking. And we're so excited to train with you very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk soon.